fuck are you going to put restraints on someone's body and what they can do to their body? How is this even a conversation? What's up, guys? It's Audrey. I am back with another feminist talk video, and today was actually quite interesting. I feel like yesterday I had a lot to talk about, but my mind was kind of just all over the place, especially because yesterday was the day after I got back from Germany. But today was really interesting. Today was really, really interesting. Today we talk about, where's my iPad? Gotta find my iPad. Yes. Today kind of answered the questions that I had yesterday that were talking about experiences and how women's experiences could go against each other in the terms of like feminism and how like experiences could clash. But now my question changed from how experiences could clash to how can women go through shared experiences but have different outlooks or reactions to them and then work towards feminism, I guess. I don't know. But I am just gonna go I think what's easier for me is just basically going through the pages as if I were reading them. So to start off, oh my gosh, I really liked how this started off. It says, thus, such theorists conclude the value and meaning of women's lives must be defined from women's point of view, from the inside of their experiences, rather than from some outside view. And I agree with that to the freaking max. What I wrote down was, a woman can be whatever she wants to be, not what society wants her to be. This is making me think of Tracee Ellis Ross and her talking about her life and not wanting children and living her life the way that she wants to. Such a beautiful woman. And on YouTube, there's this video that's living the life of a free or wild woman. And I feel like women like that they help with the transitioning idea of what a woman should be, because a woman can be whatever she wants to be at the end of the day. I think it's interesting because I'm saying that, and I know that I'm gonna go through the pages, but I'm gonna skip to the end of the 2 pages that I read, and it says, picking up on de Beauvoir's theme that women are defined by what men desire, Firestone muses on the process by which women come to embody that desire. She argues that as the biological basis of sex class crumbles, male supremacy must shore itself up with artificial institutions and exaggerations. And I feel like people or women like Tracee Ellis Ross completely go against the idea that women conform to what men desire, because she's doing what she wants. She's doing what she desires, or she does, she dresses how she wants. She lives her life the way that she wants. She goes on solo vacations. She travels, she does what she wants. She doesn't do what would get her the most views. She doesn't do that, And honestly, this is making me want to, and the reason why I had thought about Tracee Ellis Ross was because I was scrolling on YouTube and there was this video of, oh baby, this is Keke Palmer, and Tracee Ellis Ross was the featured person, and I only watched the first couple of seconds or minutes of it, and it was she was just talking about her and her being in her essence. And then I didn't watch any of the video, but it was a TED Talk or a TED Ed that Tracee Ellis Ross had done or did, and it was talking about how she stopped caring about, I think that's what the title was, how she stopped caring about what other people thought of her or something of that nature. And it's just yes, this is what we need. We need women that don't give a flying crap about what they think other people think women should be. They only care about themselves. They care about themselves. That's freaking amazing. Oh my gosh. Then the next thing that it talks about is, so TV Read, which is, I'm guessing a feminist, And, oh my gosh, I just got dizzy. Oh my gosh, what the heck? I just moved forward and got really dizzy. But basically, TV Read talks about consciousness raising and how, I guess, he structured women to have conversations about their experiences so that they could come up with a solution to feeling oppressed in any ways, or not even feeling oppressed, but what they can do to go against, like, being in situations of oppression. But the side note that I wrote on this was, you can't fight issues you cannot see. I think, to me, when I first saw consciousness raising, it made me think about, the word that's coming to mind, this really weird, is lower vibrations. You could be on this wavelength, right? You live life just in the material world. You only see things to see things. You don't think about the meaning behind those things. And you're just operating life on a day-to-day basis. Yeah, you're just operating life on a day-to-day basis. Like, you are not thinking and reflecting, basically. And then how can you see bigger problems in the big societal issues that are up here, probably way up here, and you're right here, probably down here? And I feel like it's so important that women have a chance to discuss in groups. And then also it talks about how that forms like identity and like community and belonging, and we were talking about that in the last video. But it's like, it's kind of like a win-win situation, you know? Like, you get to talk about how you feel, and then you get to talk about what you could do in situations of oppression as a woman, you know? And then it's also like, you're hearing other people's opinions or other women's opinions and their ideas, and you're starting to question yourself. Because like I said, y'all, and I always say this, when you question yourself, you are evolving. Like, y'all, as humans, we are supposed to evolve, but the human brain works so that we stay within what we know. And you know how I was talking about that box yesterday in my last video? The human brain, and how some people are uncomfortable to step out of that box. The human brain is like that. The human brain does not want to be like, oh yeah, let's go try new scary things that absolutely go against my childhood and my childhood trauma. Like, no. You have to be the type of person where you're just like, I have to do this for the better of me. And so that I can learn, grow, and evolve and become more stable within myself and within society and this and that. So it's just like, y'all get what I'm trying to say. I don't know. But, okay, so there was a quote that I did not agree with, but I could understand the explanation towards it. Now, tell me if you guys feel like you agree with this or disagree with this, because, like, I want to hear y'all's thoughts. But, like, it says, those excluded from hegemonic feminism contended that differences in women's social positions and cultural contexts are so extensive that there is no common experience of women. The first thing that I thought of before I read the explanation was catcalling. I feel like almost every single woman has been catcalled before. That's a shared common experience, you know? Like, why am I... Mittens! Why am I thinking about that YouTube video? Do y'all know that video? It's like, of that woman walking around New York, and like, she's like walking around New York getting catcalled but not saying anything. And then there are videos where it's like walking around in New York and actually responding to the catcalling. Like, I don't know why that just came to mind, but it came to mind. Okay, so I'm gonna read what the explanation was. Moreover, they argued because consciousness-raising groups often consisted of women with similar backgrounds and situations, hierarchies of power that interacted with gender ensured that the experiences of white middle class heterosexual women in metropolitan centers dominated the feminist agenda. Yet, even while women of color and lesbians around the world challenge the notion of a common women's experience, they've also embraced the concept in theorizing their specific local situations. So, I understand the explanation because it's like, oh, we're still talking about, like, I'm pretty sure the 1970s, 1980s. Like, at that time, middle, or what did it say? White middle class heterosexual women in metropolitan centers were the core of feminism, you know? So I definitely understand that. But in the lens of 2026 in modern day, I disagree, but I understand the explanation and why somebody would believe that, you know? But what I'm thinking of now is like, okay, y'all, this is kind of getting deep, and this is me talking about my personal experience, but like being a young black girl in high school in like Atlanta, basically, is like, oh, I can finally say that now because I graduated, but it's kind of like, I, uh, I guess I just have to start with, there are people, I don't want to be rude. I don't want to be rude, but I don't know how to say this without it sounding rude, but like, I'm just going to say hood girls, you know? Like the black girls that people would consider like the stereotypical, like, I don't know what you talking about, boy. You know, like that, you know? Being around other women like that in high school truly makes me think about what I was mentioning earlier, and how like that's the lower, like, you're living life day to day. You're living life just boys this, girl drama that. I have problems with ops, and you know, like just stuff like that. It makes me wonder, like, how, what could we do so that those girls have a chance to reflect and to think about life? Because I feel like the system, well, of course, I feel like we should, this is what I believe. I feel like the government the government completely overlooks and undervalues black people, both black men and black women. And it's like, we are not given the chance, like, to think and reflect, because some of us have to live in life or death situations, you know? So it's like the whole, like, the ops thing, like, every single day you don't have the time to think and reflect because you're thinking about somebody coming into your house and shooting your family and shooting you and killing you, you know? Like, dang, y'all, why can't the government just give everyone a safe space? Why do the people in power actually just care about themselves? Like, that shit is fucking crazy. Like, literally, what are we talking about? Like, genuinely, how can you break the cycle when, one, the cycle is something that the government low-key wants you to continue, and two, if you go against that cycle, then you're painted as an absurd person. Like, I wish I had an example, like, of something or of a person that was painted as, like, absolutely crazy. But I know there's a lot. But it's just, like, how, like, genuinely. And the thing is, like, I have specific girls in my mind, or, like, girlfriends in mind, where it's, like, you operate on a level that is so day-to-day that it genuinely makes me wonder what, like, when you're an adult and you truly have to fend for yourself, you're going to struggle. And I'm not saying this in a, like, in a mean way. I'm saying this in a, like, like, woman to woman, like, I feel bad. I feel bad because I feel like I was blessed enough to have a mother that is really interested in topics like these, and she's always talking about racism, class, hierarchies, and like all that stuff. But like there are people that have parents that also operate on on a day-to-day basis, you know? And as we all know, and as we should know, the things that we do are a direct explanation of how we grew up and what our parents did and said to us, you know? So it's just like, okay, so moving on to like something that low-key confused me is patriarchal bargain. This is a term that, please excuse my pronunciation, that Denise Candioti came up with to describe contextually specific strategies women pursue within a set of concrete constraints that shape women's gendered subjectivity and life options. Y'all, reading this, I don't know. Maybe I have to read the actual reading from Denise Candioti, but I don't know. To describe contextually specific strategies women pursue within a set of concrete constraints that shape women's gendered subjectivity and life options. So, hold on, this is me trying to understand this. So basically, you're describing strategies in response to the constraints that shape the oppression that women face. Okay, I kind of understand it. I kind of get it, you know? But I'm still a bit confused about, like, patriarchal bargains because, like, I don't know. I guess I just have to read on, you know? Moving on, though, oh my gosh, I just caught a glimpse of it. Y'all, the next section that I read, it's called The Personal is Political. And when I read this, I was like, the personal is political. The personal is political. That makes so much sense. Literally, it makes so much sense. The personal is political. And what's coming to mind is that, so this quote, it says, the concept also changes the conventional view of politics as limited to formal processes of government in the public sphere, which tend to treat sexuality, reproduction, and sexual violence as non-political because they are part of private life. When I read this, I was like, OMGZ. Like, the personal is political. The personal is political. And it's just like, why? Why does the government do this? Why does the government do this? Like, as we all know, everything is political, yes. But this quote, the personal is political, y'all, it just really stands out to me. Like, I could get this tattooed on my body. Like, for real. Literally for real. Like, so I'm going to read where this phrase started from. It says, this phrase started out as a political slogan used by self-named radical feminists in the United States to convey several related notions. It encapsulates the theory underlying the practice of consciousness raising, that experience is the best grounds for building feminist knowledge and is the best way to define effective feminist politics. At the same time, it expresses the claim that the system of male domination is deeply entrenched in intimate relationships between women and men. Y'all, wow. This quote, what I'm thinking of now is consciousness raising and this quote, because like even just reading this quote, it really makes me think about like, I don't know. Like, it makes me think, I don't know, like, that's just so, like, the personal is political. Y'all, I love that so much. Especially in the terms of a woman and in the views of, like, sexuality, reproduction, and sexual violence, because the personal is political, and wanting to get an abortion is political, and wanting to speak out against your rapist is political. It's so political, and people treat it like it's a minimal thing when it's not. Oh my gosh, like I could literally start crying about this because it's like we treat sexual harassment and sexual abuse as if it's something the woman has to deal with. But when you think about it, the personal is political. That woman's experience is political. And we do what feels like absolutely nothing to make sure that that woman is heard and to make sure that woman is seen, both mentally and politically. Like, what are we talking about? Abortion, like, genuinely, I don't. Y'all, when I went to Washington, D.C. for a trip to Gallaudet University because I did ASL, because I took ASL, I ended up going to, it was like a road that had like all the shops on it. There were pro-lifers, Christian pro-lifers protesting. Y'all, we were supposed to shop until you drop, basically. And I had a 2-hour conversation with these pro-lifers, these Christian pro-lifers. And it it genuinely pissed me off so bad because it's like, at that time, I wasn't like I still want to say that I'm still a beginner to all the feminist talk and like even just like stuff pertaining abortion and like sexual, violence and all that. But it's just like not, I just remember feeling like or thinking like not being able to like professionally back up your stance sucks because these are people that have been doing this probably for years where they go outside and they protest against abortion and this and that. But I just like how could you place restraints on a body? Not even a woman. How could you place restraints on a body? A body, a human being. And then of course it makes it worse that it's a woman because we live in a fucking patriarchy. Holy shit, y'all, I'm starting to get a little bit heated. I feel like abortion is one of the topics where it's like, to me, it's common fucking sense. Why the fuck? I see, yes, you can believe that it's murder and this and that, because at the end of the day, we could all believe in what we want to believe in, but why would you rather spend the rest of your life depressed, financially unstable, and probably mentally unstable to raise a child that you didn't want to have to begin with, or just get an abortion and make money, have a career, have a stable mental health? How is this even a conversation? Oh my gosh. How is this even a conversation? Like, y'all, this shit genuinely pisses me the fuck off because it's like, and excuse my language, but it's literally just like, it takes that much. It takes that much. Like, how the fuck are you going to put restraints on someone's body and what they can do to their body? Like, but and I'm not saying that the president that we have today would do this, but saying if the president decided, men have to do this to their body, or men have to, or it's required for men to get circumcised, people would absolutely lose their shit. Abso-fucking-lutely lose their shit. My son doesn't need to be circumcised. He's a man. He can do whatever he wants. Okay, I'm a woman. I can do whatever I want with my body. Why the fuck do you care? What the fuck are we talking about? Okay, I gotta move on, y'all. I just went off. I literally just went. But that's the energy that needs to be brought into these situations. Like, and into these conversations. Because, honey, baby, I just don't understand. Like, how is this even a conversation in the first place? Let me just fix my chain. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay, moving on. Moving on. Oh gosh, I don't even know. I'm like still caught up in this conversation, but let me take a second to recalibrate. Okay, I guess I'll just move on to the last section for today, and it's this quote, and I'm going to read it. Women are called into conformity with the standards of conventional feminine beauty through the discourse of romance, which makes women want to be individually attractive to men. The culture of romance, she concludes, is a tool of male power to keep women from knowing their conditions. Y'all, oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Let's read it again. Women are called into conformity with the standards of conventional feminine beauty through the discourse of romance, which makes women want to be individually attractive to men. The culture of romance, she concludes, is a tool of male power to keep women from knowing their conditions. And by she, it's an author or somebody that wrote something. I think it is Firestone. Shulamith Firestone. So this is her idea and quote. But it in terms of like relationships, it's really like wow, like women truly do have to go outside of their views and think in the view of like what would this man want. And really what's making me say this is because of personal experience within relationships and how it's like I always think like what can I do to make sure that this man is okay. And this is a very vulnerable moment. Like I don't want you guys to be like how could you think that and all this and that when it's like baby, this is womanhood at this point, you know? And I hate to say that because it shouldn't be womanhood or it shouldn't be what a woman has to think, and it should be something that's like equally approached. And there's only so many men that truly do think like really about how a woman feels in general, and two, like what they can do to make sure that a woman is truly pleased. Like you don't meet a man every single day that's like when a man approaches you, he's doing it because well, this is kind of biased. I can't say that, so I'm not going to say it. But well, I am. I feel like when a man approaches you, no, I'm not going to say it. Mainly because it's very biased and it's kind of like a me thing, and I want this to be a we thing, so I don't know. But I just think it's crazy. And I am going to speak on personal experience right now. I'm like I've always had to think about what I'm doing wrong or right towards a man. And like I said, like it just makes me question like does this man think about or view me in the same way that I view him, in the manners of like am I doing this right or what am I doing wrong? You know, like and that really does serve as an example as to this quote and the how relationships and sex is something that revolves around pleasing the man. And I can't stand that. And of course that's something that I have to work on myself, but it's also just like you don't find a man that really talks about the things that I even talk about on a daily basis, you know, like because it's not something that men or so, it's not something that society thinks men should focus on when it's like it is like men need to focus on a lot of things, I'm not gonna lie. But anyways, y'all, I'm closing the book tomorrow. Wait, let me see what we're gonna be talking about tomorrow. Actually, let me just skimp it. Okay, autonomy and intersectionality. Okay, that's what we'll be talking about tomorrow, it seems. But y'all, today was definitely a lot better than the video yesterday. I don't know, I think it's just crazy that we live in the world that we live in. And yesterday I felt myself like it felt like the world was closing in on me because I'm like there's so much going on in the world, and there's so much like to go. And I was saying that in the video yesterday, but I'm not gonna lie, sometimes you gotta cut that negative shit out and that like the world is doomed shit. Like just stop. Like, literally just cut it out, because the more that you think like that, the more you're enclosing yourself in a box. Like, baby, like, you have to think like, okay, I just got to live my life the way that I want to, and the people around me are just going to have to understand that, and society is just going to have to understand that. Like, I don't know, y'all. But thank you guys so much for watching this video, and oh my gosh, I am finally hitting my date where I can download TikTok and Instagram back. So soon enough, I will be promoting my TikTok and Instagram. This is kind of like a warning, but y'all, I'm not going to post about my YouTube on my TikTok. I don't think so, because I want that to be like two separate things, but maybe I will. I have to think about it. But y'all, please follow me on TikTok and Instagram probably in the next video. But like, y'all, like, I'm so excited. But no. And if you're wondering like, oh, why'd you delete TikTok and Instagram? Y'all, I remember being on Instagram and comparing my life to other people's lives, and I was just like, but the thing is, it wasn't like I was overly obsessed with other people's lives, but it was just like, I'd go through someone's story and I'd be like, oh damn, I want that car. Like, like just the small things. And then also with TikTok, it was kind of just like, I needed some time to think about what my TikTok means to me. And I just feel like I was posting things because I just wanted to post them. And I feel like I still don't have a game plan going into like posting on both TikTok and Instagram, but I have an idea of like what I want to do. Like, I know I want to gain followers. I know I want to help people see the way that I view the world and whatnot. And I feel like these videos really do help me, like the feminist videos, because it's like you guys get to see how I think, and it helps like with you guys, like, thinking about feminism and this and that. Like, I've had comments on my past videos where it's like, thank you so much for posting this. I've been trying to get into this. And really, stuff like that makes me so happy. Guys, I'm at 46 followers. 46 followers. Holy crap. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it so much. Like, I really do. And it makes me so happy when you guys comment on my videos, because it gives me something to respond to and to think about, Like, it really makes me happy. But I gotta end the video off because it is still the morning and I need to go do my morning routine, basically. I love doing my feminist talk videos right after I eat breakfast, and literally that's it. Like, eat breakfast, use the restroom, eat breakfast, make my bed, read, and then record. That is my morning routine, because I love doing these videos and I see that you guys love them too. So thank you guys so much. And I hope, I gotta do it. I hope that wherever you are and whatever you're going through, even if it's good or bad, I hope that you are using it to learn and to grow. Because, like I said, no matter if it's good or bad, positive or negative, you still have the opportunity, you still have the chance to learn, to either take that as an L or take that as a lesson. Bye, guys!